Hello traders, it's your boy Gift Ubakwe, and today I just want to show you how I'm able to filter my trades. Alright, so most times you find out that similar pairs have the same setup or are all going in the same direction. For example, the JPY pairs, that's what I'm looking at today. And in JPY pairs, you realize that when the JPY pair moves, most likely every other JPY pair just moves at the same time, you know. So I have several JPY pairs I'm looking at, but I'm just going to tell you exactly what I look for and how I take my trades. I know how I filter my trades and decide which pair I want to focus on, because one of the things you must try not to do is to enter multiple trades in correlated pairs. So if you're entering a trade on GBP JPY, you don't want to enter a trade on USD JPY. You just want to be sure that you are filtering your trades and taking only the best setup in a particular pair that has congruence, okay? If that's the word for it, okay, but you know what I'm saying. So basically, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking for. So before I take trades, I look for confluences, and the very first confluence I'm looking for is a double top or a double bottom. All right, and that's what I'm looking for on the daily chart. I'm looking for a double top or a double bottom, and then I look for what the market is doing. Is it at the impulsive phase or the corrective phase? All right, so let's look at how many JPY pairs I'm looking at here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, but let's start with AUD JPY and see what's happening here. So this is the top, or these are the two tops I'm looking at on the daily chart. So I'm looking at this top, 97.391. that's a very interesting point I'm looking at. But if you zoom in, you would realize that there's another top here. All right, so this top was broken, so this could be seen as a double top as well. But it's not just enough to have a double top. You want to look at the overall structure. What does this tell you overall? All right, so I expected this market to still go up right here, but it looks like JPY is already selling. And if JPY is selling, is this the best pair I want? Is this the best JPY pair I want to go into? Not really, because I can see an ascending channel here, but it's not very clean. You can see an ascending channel here, but it's not very clean for me to want to go in. All right, so why is it not very clean? If I zoom in, I realize that right here nothing really is happening here. So it's just an ascending channel, an impulsive phase with another impulsive phase downward. So I'm not really seeing enough here for me to want to get into this pair. But then don't forget, JPY is selling. So which JPY pair am I going to sell? So let's go to the next one, GBP JPY, and let's look for the same thing. Double top is what I want to look for first. When I'm going for a sell, I want to look for a double top first, because you want to start at the top and buy at the bottom. All right, so the same thing, similar to the previous one we looked at, AUD JPY. If you come here, the double top we can see is right here, but then outside this double top, nothing really is happening here. If you connect these two lows here, it doesn't really give me a structure I want to be involved in. All right, so what do? I move on to the next pair. This is me trying to filter down and find out if I'm going to find the best JPY pair to get into, because yes, I know there is a sell, but do I want to get into any random pair and just sell? Of course not. You don't want to risk your funds. Okay, so if I look at USD JPY, this is actually like the most confusing, because nothing really is happening here. After this buy on USD JPY, nothing. The market has not committed to any sell. You see, it doesn't. So I'm leaving this out. I'm not even involved in this. I'm moving out to the next pair. So I have CHF JPY. I'm looking for that double top as well. So this was the point of interest I had, but the market didn't get to that point, and this was the next point of interest in the market. So the market crossed that a long time ago actually. So this is no longer a point of interest, but the point of interest was this point. All right, so I was waiting to see how the market would break that. So my expectation was simple. I wanted the market to break this, correctively, something like this up there. and then I would look for the touches, something like this. You know, I was expecting something like this to happen, so probably this would have come all the way like this. You know, this would have given me something to work with. You know, where I would have connected this and then something like this, and then connected this lows and waited for an impulsive phase to happen like this, and then a correction. So I would have targeted to enter here. This would have been my entry to target this low here. All right, so that's what I was looking for. That's what I was expecting to happen, but well, none of that happened on this pair, and the market is already selling. So I have nothing of interest here on CHF JPY. So we move on. When we get to NZD JPY, this looks a bit more enticing. So if you look here, you see that this could be seen as a double top, because the market stalled at this point for some time and finally broke it. All right, so the market broke that, so that can be seen as a double top, and then the market had this ascending channel, which was pretty good. All right, pretty good. So the market sold for some time here after it gave us this smaller ascending channel. All right, the market sold for some time. How many pips? From here to here, say about 600 pips. So this was going to be a good trade, but I didn't take that trade. I'm not sure I took that trade. All right, so but then I'm looking at this top. This market came up all the way here. This was done already. Came all the way, but never got to this top. It never got to this top. So what happens in the strategy I trade is that we always want the market to break a top and then break back in for that sell confirmation downwards. Okay, but that didn't happen. So I'm also not interested in NZD JPY. I'm also not interested because the structure is not very nice. It's not something I want to look out for. Okay, so we move. See how I'm filtering down on my pair. So this is even the closest. This one has something a little bit enticing, but because it didn't get up to this point, to this point of interest up there, it's 7.320. It didn't get up there, so nothing really. Because let's look at this again. So this was an impulsive phase up here. After this impulsive phase, you expect a correction to show that there is a continuation upwards. Okay, so the market is probably going to form a continuation. Maybe that's what the market is trying to do, you know, something like this. That might be what the market is doing to continue this market up to this point. All right, that's a possibility. So we could have something like this, you know, and then the market just goes up. But that's not happening yet, so we'll wait and see. There's no point to rush into a trade. You just need to wait for the market to tell you what it's planning to do before you get involved in any trade whatsoever. So let's continue. AUD card. AUD card also looks appealing. All right, so there is a double top here. Let's see what happened in the double top. So there's a double top here. All right, so before I even go to the lower time frame, I want to see what is happening. So there is a double top here. This is quite nice. All right, this is quite nice because this double top was broken. All right, so the market went up just exactly how I like it. Went up there and broke down back. Now as the market broke down back, it gave me this two connection up there, so I could connect first point and the second point. This is an ascending channel I'm interested in. Not the best, not the textbook kind of ascending channel, but it also still look good. So I can go to the 4-hour time frame now and see what's happening there. All right, so because of this confirmation I got on the daily chart, it allows me to at least come to the 4-hour time frame to see what's happening here. So don't forget, for others, I didn't even bother to go to the 4-hour time frame because I didn't even see what I was looking for on the daily chart. So I want to see a confirmation on the daily chart first before I go to the 4-hour time frame. So AUD JPY, or CAD JPY rather, gives me something interesting. So if I go to the 1-hour time frame, I can see that the market is already giving a sell signal here. All right, so there was this whole impulse from here all the way up. There was that impulse, and then after that impulse, what happened? What did the market do? Instead of giving us a correction to go upwards, market decided to do what? To give us another impulse down here. All right, so the market gave us another impulse, all of this an impulse in the lower time frame. Okay, and after that impulse, what else did we see? We can see that the market now gave us a correction. Now this is the correction that would have been a perfect entry. Okay, so the entry I took was right here. Placed a sell order here, sell stop order, I think for a 50 pip, which is quite large, but yeah, depends on what the market presents. I'm not one of those traders that always targets to risk 30 pips. No, I trade based on what the market presents. If the market gives me an entry of 30 pips, perfect. Gives me an entry of 50 pips, perfect. Just take what the market gives me. All right, so this would have been a good trade, but I also didn't enter on CAD JPY. I was still filtering down, you know. I felt like, okay, let me see what other pairs are doing, and this was the one I took. Now, why did I take this trade? Why did I take this entry? Look at this. Look at this. This is more interesting. So overall here we have a complete, you know, ascending channel. Take this out. Let's take this out so I show you exactly what I see. So I can see that this double top was confirmed. So this was the potential double top, and what did the market do? The market broke out of this. And instead of giving us a continuation, what did the market do? Market came down and broke back in. Nice. All right, so that was the first confirmation, and then the second confirmation was I saw this larger ascending channel. All right, so I first saw the confluence. First confluence was a double top, and then the second confluence is a larger ascending channel on the daily chart. So I see this ascending channel on the daily chart. This is nice. This makes me interested. All right, now after this second confluence of an ascending channels are always a pointer or a structure that shows you that the market is about to drop. You know, it's always a pointer for a sell. Now I saw this ascending channel on the higher time frame on the daily chart, but if you go down to the 4 hours, you will still see a smaller ascending channel on the floor on the 4 hour, and this is it here. This is it here. I saw this smaller ascending channel on the 4 hour. I was like, oh, awesome. All right, so that's the third confluence now for why I was interested in this pair. Now after that, the next thing to do is to go down to the 1 hour. So I've seen double top, I've seen higher time frame ascending channel, and I've also seen the lower time frame ascending channel. So now I'm going down to, I'm expecting an impulse and a correction. Okay, let's even stick to this a bit. Let me show you what I also see here. So over here I can see this whole impulse. All right, this impulse. Now after the impulse, there was supposed to be a correction, but there was none. All right, so because there was no correction, what did we have? We had another impulse. All right, so we had impulse right here, all of this impulse, and then another impulse. But after this impulse, guess what? There was this smaller correction. All right, there was this smaller correction right here. So I saw that. I quickly jumped to the 1 hour time frame. Like, let's see what the correction is doing right there in the 1 hour time frame. All right, so this is how I narrow down my entry and find the best pair to get in. All right, so I saw this and I was interested. I was like, oh, okay. So once we saw this, what did we do? We quickly decided to take a deeper look, and then I went to the 15 minutes time frame where I always take my entries. And I was like, okay, this looks good. What do I see here? I saw this touch. I saw these 3 touches from here. 1, 2. Then this was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I said, okay, let's get in here. Don't forget, the market can do whatever it wants to do. Nobody actually knows exactly what the market is going to do. We can only speculate and say, okay, this is what we think based on our analysis. But at the end of the day, the market will still do what it wants to do. So I placed a sell stop order here. So it's even a 55 pips 55 pips lot size. Is it lot size now or risk? Yeah, 55 pip risk, which is a lot actually. But then the risk to reward is around 10%. All right, so this trade is already in break even, because what I do is the moment the market moves to at least a 1:1, I move my stop loss to break even. So if you look at this, the market actually moved up to 1.4%. So I quickly moved my stop loss to break even. So my stop loss is somewhere around here, somewhere locked in around there. All right, that's where my stop loss is. So let me take away this ray line. That ray line was just to show the double top, right? If I take away that ray line, so what we have here is I've already broken even on this trade, so whatever happens here is fine. So once I'm able to lock in my capital, protect my capital, I can now look for another JPY pair that is selling and find an entry. Right, that way I know my capital is protected. I can find another entry on any other JPY pair, because now I think I've taken the best pair, the best setup on the JPY pairs according to my strategy. So I feel this is the best setup. So I expect this market, since it has committed, I expect this market to come all the way down here, at least all the way down here. All right, or at least down here. Market should come to this point at least. All right, so if the market comes to that point, I'll be making a 10% profit on that market. But if for any reason, as I keep an eye on the market breaks this trend line, this one I'm putting the mark on. If the market breaks, let me see if I can move the trend line so you know what I'm talking about. If the market breaks this trend line, this one here, this one I'm moving, if it breaks that trend line, then I'm expecting the market to come to complete the 90% rule. The moment it breaks that line, it has committed to the 90% rule, and then this trade can actually extend up to this point for 25%. Well, it's going to take weeks for that to happen actually. All right, it's going to take some time for that to happen, but I will keep an eye and see what the market does when it gets here. If the market breaks this impulsively, then I would hold the trade, expecting a retracement and a continuation pattern, something like this. Then I will continue to sell the market downwards. But if the market doesn't do that, if the market comes here impulsively and reverses impulsively, then I will quickly close the trade, because at that point I expect the market to give me a continuation upward. Excuse me, continuation upward. All right, so I keep an eye on the market and see what the market does, just to be sure I am following what the market shows me and not trying to guess what the market would do. I am trying to follow the signal the market gives to me. All right, so this is my preferred JPY pair, and that's why I'm taking the sell. I'm on this sell already. I've already locked in profit on this sell. All right, I'll see you on the next video. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Peace.